So I have some cardboard, a wood quilt piece, foil pan from Dollar Tree, some wood biscuits, and a surface there. And we're going to make a cute little birdhouse sign. So I'm cutting out a birdhouse shape out of a quilt piece that I got from the swap meet. And now I'm using a foil pan from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut out a roof. And I'm also going to cut it out of cardboard, and we're going to glue that foil piece on top of the cardboard, and it just gives it a little more, makes it a little sturdier. And now I've got my coffee grunge here, and I'm going to coffee grunge that quilt piece. Now the quilt piece looks like that on the front, but I wanted to use the back. I'm going to decorate the back of it, and that's why. So now I'm adding my foil piece onto the cardboard, and I'm going to use some rust paste and some paint, and I'm going to make this roof look rusty. And I'm using rust paste from Mischief Managed Creations, and I'm using AFK chalk paint in the color Rusty Bell and Fudgesicle. And I'm going to paint it first, all of it, in the Fudgesicle. I want it dark because I don't want that foil showing through. And if you paint it first, then even if you miss spots, you won't see that silver coming through. And I did 2 coats. And now I'm going to get a chip brush, and I'm going to dip into the rust paste, and I'm going to pounce it on there. And then I'm going to dip into the Fudgesicle and pounce that on there. And I'm going to then I'll do the Rusty Bell, and you just kind of keep going back and forth with those 3 until you get it looking how you want your rusty look. And I just go back and forth until I get it all done. But the rust paste gives it that rusty texture. So I'm putting the quilt piece on a piece of cardboard because I'm going to take those wood biscuits and I'm going to glue it on the back of the cardboard because I want to raise up my surface off the birdhouse off of my surface. That's the quilt piece I was using, I was showing you. And I'm going to paint this cardboard piece for the hole in the color Crazy Crow. So see, just objects that I have around, just something very inexpensive to create. Cardboard, Dollar Tree items, whatever you have around. Now I did a blanket stitch around that piece of cardboard just to give it another look. And I'm using this stencil, and I'm using another AFK paint in the color Glory, and I'm using a home decor chalk paint in the color Blue Suede, and I'm going to add some little I'm going to stencil this on there and give it just another like block effect. You'll see. I just wanted to give it a different look. Like it had bricks showing, or there it is. All right. And I'm sanding the hole to give it some distressing, and I'm sanding the quilt piece. And you'll see, I'm going to take a pair of scissors and I'm going to cut holes in it. And I'm going to sand over that because I really wanted this to look old and tattered. And this is a way you can do that, kind of achieve that. You can cut holes in your fabric and sand it, and it will fray it. And now I got my Kills Dark Wax, and I'm going to go over the top of that with it to darken it even more. And go over those holes where I did it and kind of darken them up, you know, make them look a little more worn. So I got it how I want. Glue that down. And now I'm adding the little hole. So there's our birdhouse. There's the wood biscuits I'm adding to the back. And I'm gonna So now my birdhouse will be raised off my surface. And I had this little piece of like scrap doily, and I thought, well, that might be cute on there. So I'm gonna add that. And this is the surface I'm using. And that's kind of why I wanted to really give it this tattered, torn look, because I'm putting it on this old barn board looking piece. And I have done nothing to the surface. It looks, it's natural. We got these wood barn board pieces from Menards, and that you can get to like use to put on your wall inside your home, for either a focal wall or like if you're doing a game room or something, you can buy these wood planks that look like anything, but we got the ones that look like barn board. And I've got a spindle here, and I'm just dry brushing it with sheepskin. But if you had actual barn board, this would look too. Or you can paint the surface, and I'm going to glue all this down. And I'm going to use my Tight Bond Speed Set glue. Cleaning up the glue. Glued all this down. So then I'm trying to decide where I want to put my flower. And that's a little rusty bird I got from Factory Direct. And I add him to the birdhouse. And I decided I was thought that the little flower, and I've cut that out of cardboard as well, and I thought the little flower needed like a little center piece, so I'm going to cut a little round piece out of another piece of cardboard, and that's what I'm doing here. And then I wind up not using it. So I'm going to paint the flower in Glory. But just use what you have around. I just, did this as inspiration. You could make your birdhouse with fabric, scrapbook paper, if you have any quilt pieces lying around, whatever you have on hand. Like I said, just use what you have and create. Hopefully you'll be inspired to create something like this. So I'm sanding and getting some distressing on the flower. And then you'll see I've got my sheepskin, and I decided to just use the back of a paintbrush and just add 3 little dots instead of using the cardboard piece I cut. So now I'm going to make a bow, and I'm using some cheesecloth and fabric and a piece of lace just to make a simple bow. There's my bow. I'm going to tie it up and get it all fluffed out and trim it up. And I'm going to add that up there. Now, you'll see at the end in the picture, I decided that it still needed something on here. So I found a little scrap piece of wood, and I made a for rent sign, and I attached it on here just to give it so it didn't look so plain. I'm going to add my bow, and I'm going to use some B7000, and I'm going to glue down my little bird. Glue down my flower, and I'm going to take my Kiehl's dark wax, and I'm going to wax my surface just to give it just a little more distressed look. And like I said, this is 2 boards glued up, so I really wanted to, make it so you could see that. So I added some wax where they were joined together, give it that worn shiplap kind of look. So that's how it's looking so far. And then I decided the bow needed a little something more, and I had this jute. So I decided to make a jute bow and add it to the center just to give it a different look. Plus it helped tie the red together with the bow because it matched the red on the birdhouse and kind of tie it all together. I'll glue that to the center. Just give it just a different look. There, I added it. And there it is. Thank you for watching. This is Robin with Zimmy Simple